the Lego room, yes. But there's something that's not quite right. The lighting is a bit, so in this video, we're gonna fix it with new lights from SwitchBot. Look at them. That's right, I have got my hands on the brand new lights from SwitchBot. And I've done a lot of SwitchBot videos in the past, and the engineering has always been impeccable, and I'm actually a big fan of the products for the most part. Some of them are a bit weird, but that's all right, there's room for that too. So in this video, we are going to fix the lights in the Lego room. Of course, we're gonna make them smart, right? So here is the plan. I have 8 of these, lots. 5-meter long light strips. These are the SwitchBot RGB, so red, green, blue, we know that, ICWW strip lights. Not entirely sure what that's short for, but these are individually addressable LED lights. So each of these strips can have multiple colors at the same time, right? We got 8 of those because these lights in here, I don't know if you can tell, but 2 of them kind of works. Actually, 2 of them won't switch off. The others do switch on sometimes. I do have an IKEA motion sensor that switches them on. I'm going to keep using that one for this upgraded scenario, but it's just so unreliable. And they're about 3 years old sort of thing. So now's the time to replace them with something that might work a lot better. So 8 of these, each for one of the cabinets. Yeah, strip lights. Then we have a rope light. So this is one of those bendy ones we can make shapes with. I'm not sure where we're going to do that. Probably, I don't know, maybe up there or something. Well, we're going to figure that one out. We're going to put out a rope light just because I want to try it out. Like, they're kind of cool. They're 2 meters of those. So we make some sort of shape. Who knows what we can make. Anyway, and then there are 2 of these floor lights or floor lamps. Also individually addressable LEDs. I think that's 26 or something like that on each. And these are just neat. They're super skinny, so you almost can't tell them if they're not on. So we're going to add 2 of those. I think they're going to go in that corner and maybe that corner. That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe over there. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out as we go along. I'm excited about having actual lights in the Lego room again because, yeah, we use this room a lot, as you can tell. And lighting will be good. So first, I think we're going to take out all the old lights. They're going to come out of the old, of the cabinets so that we can put the new ones in. And then they'll talk you through each of the new lights and what they do and what they look like. All right, they're all off, they're all removed. Initially, I don't know if you noticed, I tried taking it off so I could maybe reuse it, but it's impossible. These are not meant for reuse. They stick to itself, etc. They break, etc. But I am sort of guessing that you might be thinking, well, why are you taking these off? They were working perfectly, because you might have noticed that I had to turn them all off because that was at the exact point where they did all work. Yes, which was when I took them off. Yeah, they are not great anymore. They were okay when I put them up. A lot of the LEDs have kind of gone yellow. One of these, either the power points or one of these transformer things were whirring quite loudly. I'm guessing it was about to let out the white smoke that you don't want out. So yeah, there's a reason I'm replacing these. It's not just because SwitchBot sent me these new ones. I mean, that was a good excuse to upgrade them, but they were also due. So yeah, I've got a bunch, as I showed you. I've got 8 of these for each of the cabinets. Now, let me just show you what they look like, right? So we got a 5 meter, which the others were as well, so I know they're gonna fit. And they come on a roll like this. And you simply roll them out and put them on. Now these seem to be a little bit thicker, but these, it's really difficult to show you, I'll take my word for it. The old light strips were just the LED sort of sitting. If you sort of scraped them, you could take one off basically. These have a plastic coating on them. They're actually protected the whole way around. And this is typical SwitchBot. It's always done a little bit better in my opinion. I'm really happy in general, as I said before, with their products. So here is it. I'm gonna obviously roll this out and attach it one to each of the cabinets, right? And then we have a transformer, which is what you plug them into, and that's where you can either turn them on and you can set the microphone on because they play, go into the music. I'll get to all the features and specs a little bit later in the video. And then you plug this into a power plug. I don't know if you noticed this, but that's a UK that's a UK power plug. I'm not in the UK, but this is when you get sent stuff for review. This is what happens sometimes, and usually it's not a problem, right? In this case, I forgot to check, right? So right at this minute when I'm recording, I don't have converters for UK plugs. Anyway, we'll sort that out. But that does lead me, put that over here, to the sponsor for the video. Yes! And yeah, I am starting to get sponsors on the videos. It's really exciting. Bluetti has provided this. This is the Elite 30 V2. Now, if you're not familiar with Bluetti, I've done a couple of videos, actually more than 2 shorts and whatnot, and I'm a big fan. I'm using these all the time on the farm, as I've shown you in various videos as well. This is basically a big battery, right? This is a power brick, or whatever you want to call them, that you can take with you, because normally these are huge, yeah? And if you don't believe me, go check out my other video. And they weigh, oh God, 30 kilos, 25 kilos. They're sort of hard to move around. This is the portable kind. And I'm kind of cool about this because this has, one 240 output, right? It also has the 12 volt output like you have in the car. So you can plug your car stuff into it. You can get 12 volt, 8 amp DC out of it here as well. And it has all of the USB. So it has a USB-C, 140 watt USB-C. I don't think I've seen that on any of these before. It has 2 USB-A's, 15 watts, and then it has a 100 watt USB-C as well. So you can actually power your laptop with USB-C from this, which I have done in the car. And now, of course, it's not going to last as long as the big ones. That's the whole point. It's a smaller battery, but it is so much more portable. I have actually plugged it into here because there is a DC input, and it comes with the 12 volt car cable. So you just plug that in, and you plug that into your car, and then you actually have, unlimited power, whatever you want to call it. But you can charge 240, etc., etc. So it becomes an inverter from the car. Like, it's so handy. It's small. I actually used it to power Starlink in my car. Yes, I installed Starlink in my car. That's a different video. And I used this as well for a road trip because it fits really neatly in the back of the car in the boot. And of course, there is also here normal charging for the 240 volt, and it comes with an Australian plug because I'm in Australia. Even better. So I can use this as well to actually power these, which I might do a little bit later in the video because I have a converter, and I can use that here, and I can plug this one in here, right, like that, and then we have power to a light strip, so we can do that. But I have parts coming in the mail, so we will finish the video with everything powered, don't worry. But yeah, check out the Bluetti. This is the Elite 30 V2, and if you look at watching the video right now, when it comes out, well, you are watching right now. Anyway, when it comes out, Black Friday sale is on. And Bluetti has amazing deals. Yes, I am saying that because they're sponsoring the video, but also because they are pretty damn amazing deals. So go check out that Bluetti website, either for the Elite 30 or something else. And you don't have to have the green. I just like that green. You can get it other colors. And all the details are down below in the description. Yeah. All right, let's install some light strips. Actually, first, let me just, if I didn't mention that before, the idea is that these are going to go into Home Assistant, right? That's the end goal. And that is, well, the end of the video is all of the lights are on, not just the light strips, but also the floor lamps. And we get all of it into Home Assistant because SwitchBot now supports Home Assistant for all their devices. And then we'll do some automations and see how that works. But yeah, that's the plan. But first, of course, we got to install them. So let's do that first before we look at the other lights as well. And the power boards have arrived, so I don't need the Bluetti Elite 30V2 to power them anymore. But if you are interested in this really handy thing, I gotta admit, like the fact that I can carry it like this. Anyway, check out the description down below. All right, let's have a look at these lights, shall we? Yeah. So I have here the SwitchBot app. We're gonna start with that. We're gonna get to Home Assistant at the end and see what we can do. But we're gonna start with the SwitchBot app. And if you've ever used anything SwitchBot, this is no surprise. It is very straightforward. If you ever used any of these strip lights, that is also no surprise because it's very simple. So I have 8 lights here, Lego cabinet 0 to 7, because we always start at 0, right? 0 index. And if I just go into the first one, which is here next to me, I can then go more, and we get all of the settings for that particular light. So I have already adopted them, I've updated them, the firmware, there's always a firmware update, right? And here we are. So we have, currently we're running the cherry blossom effect, which looks kind of nice. So it's sort of a pinkish with a bit of white light that goes around. Anyway, it doesn't have to stay like that. That's just what I sort of set them all up to be. So let's start with the white. So we can go completely white light, yeah? And then we can change the color temperature. So, you know, like any other lights like this, there's not surprising. And we have colors. So of course these are individually addressable LEDs, which means that we have this complete control, as they call it, or segment control, which means we can then say, well, I want actually that bit there and that bit and that bit, and then we want this bit there. Oh, sorry, that's how you do it. My bad. Now we put some on green. So some of them are pink, some of them are green, and then we can have some blue ones, which will be these ones here, like that. And you can see we have some blue, they're over there, and where the green ones are way down there, and the pink ones are somewhere. So that is kind of the upgrade that I didn't have before, is that they are individually addressable. Now, would you do this? Maybe if you had a specific sort of way you wanted things lit, but it is a lot of work, so maybe not. You can also go complete control, and that's just for all of them, so you have one color for each. That's sort of a traditional way, right? We can do white again. And then there's effects, and these, I've gone through all these effects, and I don't know, I think they could do a bit of an upgrade. They're a bit meh, rudimentary. So like if we go party mode, right? It's just a bit flashy. Like it'd be nice if there was some sort of interesting animations or something. By the way, I did do a video on my first WLED for my server rack, and they had sort of more options, I guess. But that's just a software update away. A whole bunch here. I'm going to go with Cherry Blossom again because I quite like that one. And then there's music. So if you want, you can have all of these play something by using the microphone in there. And then when I talk, hey, you can hear that. Oh, did it? Hello? Oh, now it's not. It was initially. It'll go via the music. Now, I don't have music in here. I don't listen to music as much in the Lego room because it's for, you know, concentrating, serious work. Yeah, anyway, that's sort of the colors you can do. So I'm going to put it back on the effect. And then, of course, there are these settings as well, which I'll show you. There's not many. You can customize the icon, sure. Power loss recovery. Choose the state of your device when power is reconnected after a power outage. That is very handy because I have, for example, some heaters. When the power goes, they comes back, they turn on. Not helpful if you don't want them on. So I'm going to maintain previous setting. That's good. Segment count. Again, you can see there are 40 individually addressable sections on here. I think that was more than 40 LEDs though, but oh, hang on, can we change that? Oh no, segment count 39. Okay, but only apply the specified number of segments. I think you can just limit them. So if you cut off, you can actually cut off these lights as well if they're too long. That's probably where you adjust that, I think. Anyway, Wi-Fi settings, third party, NFC, matter setup, and that's it. There's nothing else. These are simple lights, but I think they look great. And I'm hoping we can do something more a bit later on. But now, let's have a look at the next set of lights. All right, so next up are the floor lamps. Yes, this is the SwitchBot RGBICWW floor lamp. And just like with the strip lights, this has individually addressable LEDs. So, what's in the box? Well, obviously a lamp, but let's have a look. Ta-da! There are some instructions, obviously. Gotta have instructions. Because you gotta assemble this. Obviously a tall lamp doesn't come in a small box like this. We have all of the rods here, which are for the lamp itself. You can see there, like that. And these are, I think they're like cast aluminium. They feel quite nice. It's sort of a rough back on here. Very good. And there are 4 of those, because that's how tall this lamp is. Here is the light itself, sort of bent up in a sort of conduit protector thing. This is the light itself. It actually feels really nice. It's a very sort of soft, rubbery. Obviously the light's inside, but I don't know, it just feels nice. Here is the bottom stand, which is part of this thing, which is quite solid, so it's not going to fall over. And that goes in there. These sort of brackets are for horizontal mounting, because you can do that too. You don't have to have it standing up. I'm going to have it standing up, but you can also mount it in these, which can sit on the wall or something. You can have a horizontal lighting. it's kind of neat, you know, options. Then there is a power supply, and there is the controller with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and whatnot. And here are some tools and screws. Just to give you a sneak preview, here's one I've prepared earlier. So it's going to be out of frame because it's tall, but it's all the way up there. So this is about, how tall is it? 1.2 meters or something like that. It's quite tall. And it looks like this. And then you can choose to either face the light forward and blind everybody, or you can choose to have it this way and just get sort of the glow of the light. And I'm going to try both. I'm not sure which way to go yet. But yeah, let me assemble this one and then I'll show you where they go with lights on them. And they're lit! What do you think? There's one there, there's one there. I think they look amazing. Especially that one over there, because a bit more in the corner, you get more sense of the light, because it's still a bit bright in the room. But that one's gonna come into its own, I'm sure, when there's less light in the room. But that looks amazing. All right, let me just try and turn them around so we can see if they face forward, right? So you do this, like that, and like that, which is also an option. I think I prefer the more subtle when they're turned away. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Yeah, I'm not sure. Not even sure they should be there, but I think that's not a bad first position for them. Anyway, so this might be a good time to mention that if you're enjoying the content, why not subscribe? Yeah, it's free. You get free cake and a kitten, maybe. But it's that big red button down below, and it really, really helps the channel if you click it, if you're not already subscribed. And if you're interested in any of the SwitchBot lights, right now, when the video comes out, well, Black Friday sale is on. And you can pick up your own strip light or floor lights, or even, which we'll get to shortly, the rope light, the bendy light. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up next. So yeah, if you're interested, check out the links in the description, because it's an affiliate link, which means you help the channel if you use that link, and we all win. You get a good deal as well. But yeah, check that out. I think they look great. Yeah, and again, let me know. I'm just excited about lights in the Lego room. I know. All right, let's jump in and figure out how we're going to use this rope light. Right, the rope light. There's not a lot to it. I'll show you in the box here. Open it up, and here's the actual rope light in itself, and then there is, like the others, there's a power point and there is a controller with the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. That's about it. But I'm thinking, let me just take it out here. So this is one of those sort of thick, and you can bend them and whatnot, right? I think you can even add more to it if you want a longer one, but maybe not. So this is one of those sort of thicker lights, and you can bend it obviously and shape it, and it comes with some clips, which are here, so you can mount it. And I think we're gonna mount it up there on the wall is my plan. We'll see how I go, but yeah, let me just put that on the wall, and then I'll be right back. Yeah, it's another light, hardly a surprise. All right. The rope light is mounted. I'm not a very design, creative, focused person, so I did my best. But here's what I came up with. You ready? Yeah? All right, here goes. Ta-da! I made a light bulb because in this room, a lot of ideas come to life, both in forms of Lego, but also otherwise. When you build Lego, in my opinion, you just get those creative juices flowing, and you just start thinking of things, and you sort of almost meditate. Well, I do, at least. It's sort of in a Zen state once you get into sort of putting the pieces together and figuring out how it works and admiring the engineering and all that stuff. So I put a light bulb, and of course it's also the logo for my channel. So I don't know, what do you think? Let me just go over here. I'll show you. What do you reckon? If I from here, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think that's pretty good effort. Anyway, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the light bulb. Anyway, anyway, let me know what else I can do with it, because I can take it off, put new sticky tape on it, and put it back up. So this unfortunately is not a addressable LEDs that are in it. This is just a single color. The rope light from SwitchBot does not come as addressable LEDs, RGBICWW, whatever it's called, ICWW, whatever that one is. It only comes in single color. I still like it. Anyway, let me know what you think, and let's jump into Home Assistant. Let's have a look at Home Assistant, because that's sort of where we combine everything, right? Yeah, if you're like me, you like having everything in Home Assistant so you can connect things from different brands and different platforms and whatever. As long as it's in there, we can do automations with all of it. And also, don't forget that if you want your own Spit Happens mug with tea, actually I don't supply the tea, but check out the merch, because I've made it all myself, kind of thing. It's down below. Anyway, let me show you. Here is Home Assistant. So this is Home Assistant. This is my main dashboard. Water is important, but let's go to all of the SwitchBot stuff. So we're going to go into all of our devices, all our integrations, and they are under SwitchBot Bluetooth, right? So I'm using the Bluetooth connection for this. They also come through cloud, but obviously that's not as fast. So speaking of speed, we'll come back to that. So in here, I have all of my Bluetooth devices, including now Lego cabinet 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, floor lamp 1 and 2. The rope light does not support the Bluetooth integration with Home Assistant. Now, I did tell you that SwitchBot is going all in on Home Assistant, and they are, because these rope lights, you can see here's the Matter integration, and down here at the bottom of the Matter integration table, it does say neon rope light, but it also says RGBICWW, which we know it isn't. This is not individually addressable, right? So not sure if they made a typo. I'm not using Matter yet. That's a different video. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I think this is the rope light, because it does say Matter on the box, even though it's not an RGBICWW. Anyway, that's why I don't have him in Home Assistant in here, because I'm using the Bluetooth connection, because that's sort of what I know. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a second, because I didn't know. Let's have a look at one of the cabinet lights. We'll start with the first one here, 0. We can turn it on and off. And that's sort of, I thought that was it. Anyway, let's turn it on. And when you do that, you can see the light here glows. It's actually the color of the light right now. So I can click on that, and then we have all of the options of the app, essentially, almost. And we can't set the individual lights on it. That's not a feature in Home Assistant. Pretty much everything else. So we can set the intensity, or the volume. No, that's not it. How much light there is, and we can change it to a color. So let's say pink. Oh, there we go. Come on, get up there. Just gotta wait for it to update. That's why that happens, is if I'm too quick and the light hasn't updated yet with the integration, then it sort of jumps back. So that's why, in case you're wondering. And we can change the colors here as well. There's some preset ones, etc. And then this, the white intensity, like the warmth of the white light, right? So you can see here, that's what the white color is like, and this is how bright it is. Right, that makes sense. And then we have the effects down here. So we could, for example, my cherry blossom that I do like, I don't know why, we can set it on there. And then that, we need that to be a bit brighter. There we go. So all of those things are in Home Assistant. Now, of course, we can programmatically get to them as well if we want to. So that's pretty good. That's really it. It's as well, they're lights, they're pretty simple, but we do have most of the features apart from the individually addressable things, which we have to do in the app. That's just how it is. Right, so I can turn that off again, right? And you can see it comes a little cross over here. Very good. Let's just have a look for completeness' sake, the floor lamps, and they look pretty much exactly the same as far as Home Assistant goes. You can see it's the same controls that are here. So they're no different. They're just a different format of a strip light. basically. So the lamps are in there too. Turn that off. So that's pretty simple. Not really anything I didn't expect. So that's good. That all seems to work just fine. So here is a bit of a Bluetooth lesson that I found. So I wanted to have, when I walk into the room, ideally wanted light 1 to turn on, light 2, light 3, light 4, etc., sort of all the way around the room. And then when I was out of the room, there was no motion, I would want them to just all turn off, right? So I have here Node Red, which is what I'm using. So under the Lego room, up here at the top is where that is. So this is my my automation that's here. You can see here's the Lego room motion sensor. That's an IKEA sensor. Again, that's why I love Home Assistant so much, because I can use my IKEA sensor with my SwitchBot lights. There is a little orphan here because that was my first approach was, as you can see here, turn on, light to turn on. So that's the action. And the entity was Lego room lights. I created a group in Home Assistant. If you're not familiar with that, let me just show you here. Under settings, if you go into devices, you can add an integration which is just called group, right? And it's a helper. And in here, you can then add, you can see first of all the groups, because you can go to helpers. Do you want to set up a group? Okay, no, I don't want to do that right now, but that's where you set it up. If you click OK, you then choose what kind of group, right? So I had a light group, and then you add your entities, add. So I created one here called Lego room, Lego cabinet, Lego room lights rather. Lego cabinet lights is the old one. Lego room lights. And you can see in here, down here are all the lights, right? 0 to 7. 7 for some reason is on and off. I haven't figured that out. There's a bug. I think it's Home Assistant that just loses the connection. Anyway, we'll gloss over that for now. But I added all these. And I thought, wait, hooray, all is well. Now, when I triggered the action from the motion sensor, which is in here, the lights came on. So that is this one here, that up here. The lights came on like with 10, 20 seconds delay between each. So like light 3 would come on, you wait 20 seconds, light 5, you wait 10 seconds, light 1, etc., etc. And it was just not great. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I thought, okay, I'll try and turn them all on like this, right? So light 0, 1, 2, 3, all in sequence. That was better, but I still had this massive delay, right? Like, what am I doing wrong? So, as any good nerd, I went to the docs. And in here, we have Bluetooth for Home Assistant, and it has improving connection times. And in here, it says, connection time and performance vary greatly depending on the Bluetooth adapter and interference. Aha. So my Bluetooth adapter is a well, actually, first of all, it says here in order from best performing to worst performing. So you have Ethernet connected Bluetooth proxies. That performs the best. USB high performance adapter with passive scanning. Okay, I have a USB adapter that is directly connected to my Home Assistant Green, which runs Home Assistant. And then I thought, passive scanning. What does that mean? I didn't know that there was passive and active scanning. See, active, passive, passive, active, active. Like, what does that mean? Now, so here's the way I understand it. Active scanning from a Bluetooth receiver is there a connection that needs me? Yes. Okay, I'm going to maintain that connection. Think of audio headphones. You want them to be connected all the time because audio flows. You want that connection to be stable, right? That's an active connection. Now, if your headphones didn't have an active connection, it would lose connection and constantly having to get it back. For lights, I don't need connection all the time. I just need that one connection going, turn on, change color, turn off. That's it. I don't need the constant connection. So that is passive. So I went into Home Assistant, and I'll show you here. Again, under my integrations, you will have Bluetooth if you use Bluetooth. And here there are all my Bluetooth devices. So I have some Bluetooth proxies. Go check out that video. That is the best thing ever for expanding your Bluetooth network. Go check out my video on that. But down here, I have the Realtek Bluetooth radio. That is my main Bluetooth adapter or receiver, right? And here's the Bluetooth settings for that adapter. And they were set to active. And I changed them to passive, which is just all you can do here. There's just a checkbox. And that means that the lights weren't holding on to the connection, or rather the adapter wasn't. So it was a lot quicker, like a way quicker. It was a few seconds. And I thought, okay, well, that's good, but it still wasn't performing as well as it could. And then I went and I did, I'll show you. So here on my Lego room light automation, I then again tried all this sort of, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like one after another, and I still had the delay between them. So if you know how I can limit the delay between nodes being triggered, let me know, because I haven't figured it out yet. But what I have done is in here, it's not really turn on light 0, but I have put on all of the lights, turn on, and then all of these target entities. And that works. They just turn on pretty much at the same time. Now, there's a little bit of delay, and that is because my adapter, and I think this is a Bluetooth constraint, but maybe not. You can see if I go up to Bluetooth adapters, if I go down here, most of these adapters can hold 5 connections at the same time, right? Bluetooth doesn't hold 1 million connections. That's why passive is so important, so it doesn't hold on to a connection. But I have 10 lights now, and I want them all to turn on. So there is a little bit of a delay here when these 10 are triggered, right? These 10 lights, well, 9 lights as it is. 10 lights, sorry, it is 10 lights. And that's okay. I can live with that now, but they don't come on in sequence. My OCD would really like it to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. around the room. But I don't have, my OCD also won't allow having that delay between them. So let me know in the comments. I need your help. How do I solve this? I am not sure. But it works now. And I'm leaving this here in case I figure out what the delay might be. Because if I turn on a light, can I then say, is it queue messages? I'm not sure exactly what it is that I have to do. And then, of course, it just turns off the lights, which is the same one. It just turns off all of them. And that works well as well. So I can now turn lights on and off with the motion sensor. But of course, that's not super interesting, although it's really useful. But I would like you to tell me in the comments what I could do in terms of automation. I have thoughts like monitoring an RSS feed for new Lego announcements, and if there are keywords such as Batman or, I don't know, car, train, those sort of things in those announcements, I can make the whole room go into party mode. I don't know. Right, and then I'd know that there is a new announcement, something like that, something that kind of is a bit of fun. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to do. But anyway, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I might be able to do with these new lights. So that's all I had for this video in terms of automation. I hope you enjoyed the lights. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Lego room. I spent a lot of time in there with my son in particular. I hope you enjoyed all the new lights. I genuinely like these SwitchBot lights. They are just really good quality. It feels like, I mean, I've just installed them, so I don't know longevity, but they just feel great, especially those strip lights having that, protective sort of clear plastic over the LEDs just makes a huge difference for installing them in particular. But let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, and do check out the Black Friday deals that are in the description from both bluetti and SwitchBot, because they support the channel. They allow me to do these videos that I so enjoy doing for you. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.